And so I've been cycling today. So today is Sunday, July 21st. Cycling all the way from downtown to Jericho Beach, and there are a whole lot of people there today. But right at this point, I'm at the Granville Island Public Market, and now last Tuesday, July 16th, I cycled around Vancouver in the afternoon. It was long, cycling about 40 kilometers. And I started from downtown at home to all the way to church, but this time I actually took through the seawall to Jericho Beach to all the way up to UBC campus and all the way around the edge of UBC campus and all the way to church. And on the way to UBC campus, and I was taking a little bit of a break on the top of the UBC overlooking Pacific Ocean, and I was taking a little bit of a break. And then there was a woman just came out of a wooded area, and she was looking for a trail, and I guess she was kind of lost and asking me for direction. And so she was actually having this smartphone application and just trying to find where the trail started. And I also had no idea where I was, because that was first time for me up there. So, instead of taking some time for me to actually take a look at that app together with her and trying to find a trail for her, I just, in my hurriedness, I didn't take time at all, kind of brushed her aside. I just briefly took a look at it and said, I have no idea what it is. And then I just left her as where she was. And so I cycled all the way to church. But on the way to cycling to church, I felt a little bit guilty about it. I kind of thought about it, and I felt bad about it. I'm kind of thinking to myself, boy, Richard, you should have taken some time to actually, try to find a trail for her. Just look at the application and try to see, try to find so that she doesn't, get lost, for many hours and trying to ask people. So I felt kind of guilty about it on the way, but within an hour I just quickly forgot about it, that encounter, and I just came to church and spent some time in church and all the way back to home. So this and what else happened was that on the way back home, so as I'm coming back to downtown and about to cross the bridge, there was a group of people, family members, about 4 of them. They were cycling, and they're on the same path as I was, and just crossed the bridge from downtown. And I was about to go downtown and about to cross the bridge, and they were asking for direction for the Granville Island Public Market place. And I said, well, I know that place, and I quickly told them where I should go. And so I directed them to that direction, and actually I told them you have to cross the bridge and go all the way to seawall, and you get there. And so I told them, and actually I was actually going to that direction, going to bridge, and on that way, so you can just follow me. So I bicycled, and they followed me. And now, not until I was about my home, until toward my home on the path, I realized that I actually gave them wrong direction. Well, not wrong direction, kind of a long path, because they just crossed the bridge from downtown, and all they had to do was to turn right and just take a little bit of cycling on the way down, and they could be able to find Granville Island Market. And I, in my hurriedness, and I thought about how to go to a public market through downtown, from downtown. So I gave them actually a longer path than what's necessary. And I quickly realized, as soon as I was about home, I realized I made a mistake, and I was like, oops. And I really felt bad, kind of terrible about, giving them a wrong direction. I wasn't intending to give them the wrong direction, but that's what happened. So that kind of bothered me. I was sitting there and kind of really thinking, and it kind of bothered me kind of all day that afternoon. And I planned to actually go to, right after bicycle, I was going to actually go to visit a pub and just drink a glass of beer, and I just totally didn't feel like going there at all, because I felt really bad about keeping this poor family of four of British with a British accent, asking for direction and just gave them a wrong direction and just felt that what if they were still looking for public market, and so that's what happened on the way. So I just want to say I feel really terrible about it. Still feel terrible, and I didn't take long enough time to actually be kind to them. Missed the opportunity to be hospitable, and left a bad impression to both tourists, and both of them were kind of British accent. So I just want to say that I learned through that encounter, I learned a big thing, and true hospitality takes time to care, time to pause, and time to engage, and time to be personal, especially to those strangers and aliens and tourists. So when I see, especially tourists from British, I'll be extra personal, extra taking some time to actually be there for them and try to find the right place, try to give them the right direction.